Hi everyone, my name is Adriana, and today I'm going to talk about a movie through a psychological lens. The film I picked is called Split. You've probably heard of it already. It's really popular and was all over TikTok for a while. This movie is directed by M. Night Shyamalan. In this podcast episode, I'm basically going to explore how the movie portrays dissociative identity disorder, or DID, whether that portrayal is accurate and whether this film is a helpful tool for learning about real mental illnesses or not. Split is a psychological thriller that follows a man named Kevin Wendell Crumb, who is a man who lives with dissociative identity disorder. Kevin has 23 distinct personalities or alters, and a mysterious 24th one known as the Beast. The movie starts off with Kevin kidnapping 3 girls and locking them in an underground facility. Throughout the film, we meet a few of his different alters, like Dennis, who's super controlling and rigid, Patricia, who acts kind of like a strict mom, and Hedwig, who's a 9-year-old kid, and all of them are completely different in how they talk, dress, and act. As the film progresses, the threat of the Beast grows stronger and we begin to see the darker sides of Kevin's mind. Dissociative identity disorder is basically when someone has 2 or more distinct identities or personality states, and they take turns being in control. DID is characterized by the presence of 2 or more distinct identities or personality states, gaps in memories, significant distress or impairment in social, occupational, or other important areas of functioning. In Kevin's case, we definitely see all of these characteristics. He demonstrates multiple distinct identities, each with different names, accents, mannerisms, and behaviors. For example, Hedwig. He is a child who listens to Kanye West and dances, while Dennis is a neat freak who prepares for the Beast's arrival. These alters are aware of one another but are not always in control, and Kevin himself often has no memory of these actions carried out by others. These identity shifts cause severe disruptions in his behavior and lead to dangerous outcomes, including violence and kidnapping. So yeah, in terms of meeting the basic diagnostic criteria, the movie mostly gets that part right. While the film does capture some core elements of DID, like identity, fragmentation, and memory gaps, it really exaggerates the disorder to make it more dramatic. Like the whole Beast alter that has superhuman powers and is climbing walls, that's just not how DID works. In reality, people with DID are far more likely to have a history of severe trauma and are not inherently violent or dangerous. The portrayal of Kevin as a killer who transforms into a superhuman creature reinforces harmful stereotypes and contributes to stigma against those with real-life dissociative disorders. Psychologists and mental health advocates have criticized Split for exaggerating the condition to create suspense. For example, the Beast is a fictional personality that defies biology, climbing on walls and changing physical characteristics. So as far as accuracy goes, I'd say Split is entertaining, but it does lean more into horror suspense than reality. It plays on the fear of mental illness instead of actually showing what living with DID is really actually like. So would I recommend Split to students or anyone learning about psychological disorders? Yes, but with caution. Split is gripping and well acted, especially James McAvoy, who plays Kevin. His performance is undeniably impressive. He does an amazing job switching between personalities. But if you're watching it to actually understand mental illness, you need to also do some research or read up on the real experience. It's not really a documentary. It's more of a movie and more of a wild one, I would say. All right, that's all for this episode. Thanks for listening to me talk about Split and how it portrays DID. If you're interested in this topic, definitely look into real stories or even documentaries about people living with DID. I recommend checking out resources from the National Alliance on Mental Health Illnesses or documentaries like When the Moon Met the Sun. There's definitely a lot more to it than what we see in movies. Always keep that in mind.